Greetings, most precious, beautiful, loving, generous, kind, spirit, soul, strong, magnificent. You're beyond definition. My topic: a way to solve any problem. You know, what mathematician doesn't like a problem to solve? And the thing with the mind mathematician, it'll solve a problem, but that solution becomes the next problem. So any solutions that come from the thought machine, fear, scarcity-based thought machine, always creates another problem. And you notice that. And then we'll create another thing. We'll put a patch on that one later, and then we'll put a patch on that one later. Then we'll just patch that, we'll fix that, and all that. So you have and then people doing things. One day we'll find an answer to that, and then we'll patch that. And it never solves it because it hasn't gone to the core. They haven't gone to the core and the source of that problem. And a way to solve any and every problem is, first of all, to get what it is. It's something is interfering with your desire to go forward to attain some object of some kind, to either see, hear, taste, touch, feel, that you then are thinking will give you, or give the person, that inner experience of satisfaction, power, contentment, joy, prosperity, good, all of this, and to end the fear. But you see, the mind is generated for fear, that false mind. You have divine mind, and you don't even have it's not even a mind, it's who you are. You're all wisdom, you're all knowing. And our abilities and such go way beyond what you would call AI or IT, intelligence, technology and artificial intelligence, because the mind is artificial intelligence. People use that word matrix or whatever, but that's it. That's the constructs. That's what creates it, are these thoughts and these beliefs and these they're constructs, concepts and constructs. So take a look at what is the problem. Is it a health problem? Is it a relationship problem? Is it a so-called a money problem? Is it a food problem? Is it an irritation? What is it? What is it? Isolate. What is there something that you would like to improve in your life? What would you like to improve and as such? And then you have to look to see, why would you like to improve it or say solve that problem? Well, because you want to feel good, you want to be healthy, you want to be able to do what you want to do, you want to have that freedom to manifest what you desire, do your work, all this kind of thing. And so here's how you do it. Go into your quiet place, and you, in your breathing or however you do it, to contact your inner divine partner, beloved, yourself. But it's a capital S. We all have the same self, and yet we're all different cells, ourselves. Yes, you can call it cells if you want. The self is the cell. And look at what would be the ideal. Okay, image yourself healthy and that problem completely gone. And feeling good, feeling energetic, see yourself free of that. How would you feel? Say you've got to worry about where you're going to live or what's going to happen. Okay, obviously there's a place for you. And what you'd want to do is, how would you feel if you had that place for you to live and for you to be, where you could express your talents and abilities? It gave you the serenity, the peace, close to nature. List what it is that you need that's going to support you in doing your life's work, you see. And the life work is twofold. It's what you realize on yourself, how you become strong in who you are, and in that you automatically cast off the virtual reality now, because you're being real and true in who you are and centered in the power of the self. And all of your unlimited abilities, supernatural powers, what would you say, intuition, all of this that you have. Intuition is your divine knowing. And we do know. So to solve that, then, how would you feel if you had that? Okay, you get into the feeling of it and realize there is a perfect home. And you can use your words to get you to the high state, or to that conscious state of being where you have accepted the truth that always is, that wants to manifest, but yet what we do is block it with our virtual reality concepts instead of tuning in to the divine and to that which is natural and therefore beneficial for all living entities, including animals. And our key here is really to solve the greatest problem of all, which is our own misidentifying ourselves as a physical body, that we need to actually serve and serve the senses in obtaining the objects of the senses for some certain amount of momentary pleasure, and then fall back again, that person would, into their depressed and miserable state, only because the mind and the work that a person does on what we do on our meditation, being alone, being in nature, getting really in touch. I have these really good, using your pendulum. That's a good way too. There's different, I have these really good cards that I use that I like. They're all very spiritual. They're oracle. And I'll get in touch with that. And you have to also be careful you don't have interference. Because if you're using your mind and you're doing that, you're very always susceptible to you don't need the still small voice. You don't need to hear a voice. If you're hearing a voice, that's still the mind. And so when you really look at it, if there really wasn't anything to worry about ever again, how would you feel? And so it's wanting to get back to what we left for some virtual reality where you're born and you die and the people are suffering and paying rent and having, all of this kind of a thing, where we've been consenting to that and agreeing to that because we've been trusting and just operating on what we've been taught by people that we thought really cared about us. And you find if people are making money from you in that sense, there was, what I shared years ago on my television program is there was research that was done that there were healing professionals that were, they did a poll. Would you be willing for all your patients to be well and never need you again? They said, no, we need our job. We need the money. Really, you have to really look at where you're centered. Are you the beast, or are you the divine precious spirit soul that you are, you see? So that when you do that, when you stop misidentifying yourself as a spiritual as the physical body and the limitations of that, and you start acknowledging who you are, you've solved all your problems, because nothing's ever a problem for you ever again. Because you want to take, this is an exercise for you, take a look at all the words, all the things that the control structure, whoever that is in your life, and has been, what educators, authorities, so-called, that we've given, have told you is important. What are the words, the things that people have told you are of value? Realize they have no value at all. That's a programmed value that keeps you running after that instead of sitting quietly within yourself, you see, and to be in the sublime of the pleasure of your own soul. It's called self-satisfied. And when you're self-satisfied, you really don't have desires. You always, you are satisfied. That doesn't mean nothing happens. Oh no. That's when the divine is ever present.